Hello again. Anybody who has spent any time in the company of Caribbeans and those of Caribbean heritage will know that they can be just as racist as any white person. The abbreviated term for Pakistani is often thrown around freely, and jokes about Africans based upon the fact that they are supposedly primitive and unsophisticated are not at all uncommon. Don't even get me started about the use of the phrase white devils, which one hears from black Muslims. That's fine. Racism is common in every nationality and ethnic group. We may perhaps deplore this, but it happens to be the fact. One recent example in the news will provide an amusing example of what I'm talking about. The Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer for Watford Football Club's Community Sports and Education Trust is a woman called Ebony Rose John Jewell. Her ancestry is partly Caribbean, and many people would say that she is black. Last year, she was travelling on London Transport when she became embroiled in a row with a couple of their Asian employees. She punched one in the face and told him, "Go back to your country, you bloody Indians." There was more in the same tone, with uncomplimentary references to their ethnicity and supposed national origin, and it will surprise nobody to learn that she was convicted of racially aggravated threatening behaviour. She may be seen in the thumbnail to this video, and in the description to this video I give a link to the news item about her. So far, so good. I think that most of us would agree that this is a pretty unpleasant instance of racism. Just hang on a minute. Ireland, which is seeing quite a lot of racial friction lately, has cunningly decided to adopt a new definition of racism, one which would mean that such behaviour as that at which we just looked would not be racism at all. In the description to this video, I give a link to Ireland's recently published National Action Plan Against Racism. In it, we find the following definition of racism, which is now officially to be used in Ireland. It reads as follows. In this plan, the term racism refers to a form of domination which manifests through those power dynamics present in structural and institutional arrangements, practices, policies, and cultural norms, which have the effect of excluding or discriminating against individual or groups based on race, colour, descent, or national or ethnic origin. At once, we observed that when Watford Football Club's diversity officer told an Asian to go back to his own country and called him a bloody Indian, she was not part of a power dynamic which is present in structural and institutional arrangements, practices, or cultural norms. How could she have been? Her outburst was purely personal and has nothing at all to do with power dynamics. It cannot, therefore, be defined as racist by this term. The definition is, by the way, lifted straight from critical race theory and has also found its way into the Merriam-Webster dictionary in America, where we find racism defined as the systemic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and political advantage of another. A black person shouting abuse at an Indian is not part of systemic oppression of a racial group, and it is not therefore racism, at least according to that dictionary. We see from these examples that in the Western world, racism becomes an exclusively white practice. In both Europe and North America, it is by and large white people who are in control of the social, economic, and political systems which may be used for oppression, and so they alone are capable of racism. The definition of racism as simple prejudice or discrimination is fast disappearing, which will give black people a free pass to be as rude as they like to Indians without being accused of being racist towards them, which some of us feel is perhaps not a desirable state of affairs.